Get in the cage. Jeff, is the camera ready? Get the camera ready, please. Can you zoom in also? Zoom in, get a tight shot. I want a tight shot. Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Everything seems hushed in your name, still contemplating its essence. How do your verses endure? My internal monologue is punctuated by your melancholic orchestra, moonlight sonata underwater. I have seen your words grow from the walls of a dusty treasure house, chanting the memory of Eve. Rain searches for meaning, where your memory spreads its roots. These days, joy is frequent as raindrops on bats' wings. With every letter, you translate silence into heartbeats.
We were married at 19. Who the fuck knows anything about marriage at 19? It was a cloudless summer Sunday when the universe conspired to give us everything. We stood facing one another, me in my thrift store short white dress, you in your old brown suit. I had spring blooming in my heart and shooting stars coursing through my veins, and all I needed was to see you standing there, handsome and young and so alive, and I knew we would make it, that whatever love we had was the world-shattering, soul-healing kind. Our marriage was a venture that could only be undertaken passionately, stupidly, as if there were no limits to what we were willing to sacrifice. We entered wedlock with the wrecking force of a bulldozer, swung in with ruthless bravery, determined to prove there was nothing that could pull us apart. And for a while, we did prove it. We had nothing, yet we lacked nothing. There was freedom in the absence of possession, and having nothing to lose. And it was in this freedom that we grew intertwined, you and I, on our endless nothingness. We didn't fall in love, we consumed it, grew in it, and burning it like infinite fuel, we flew into our private heaven. And what a heaven it was. Newlyweds, broke, and too young to give a shit. We moved into a broken-down studio with a ramshackle kitchenette and a small bathroom where the water ran a pale shade of ochre. There were stains on the carpet shaped like various bodily functions, and a single window sealed shut, looking into a trash-filled alleyway. We had no bed. On our first night as husband and wife, we laid on a pile of cushions under Salvation Army blankets, and we drank $6 Andre like it was Dom Perignon. We washed out the bottle and used it as a base for a bouquet of bright forget-me-nots. Sitting cross-legged on our cushions, we stared at them, letting their color pierce so deep into our corneas that we never again saw blue the same way.
Does language lead to longing, or does longing lead to language? Each day I speak, aware of my deficits. The words, I love you, cannot present what I feel in my blood.
Perhaps because of some drug, or because of the chemicals in the bug spray that so frequently perfumed our apartment, or perhaps simply due to euphoria. I remember our first year of marriage as if in a haze. My senses were dulled in a way no pharmaceutical has been able to replicate, as if it was too much for one person, the everything that I felt. My body allowed me to feel it only a little at a time, dragging it out so that I'm still feeling it now. I was at home in the way we were always naked, always more than naked. We were unshaven, smelling of musty skin instead of perfume, laying in odd positions, careless with the placing of our limbs. And you kept climbing deeper into the fantasy. You walked into the apartment one day and said, "Get dressed and follow me." I was high, floating on helium, eating raw cherries by wrapping my tongue around them and plucking them from the stem. I popped one cherry in my mouth. "Where are we going?" "Follow me," you said. I popped another cherry in my mouth. I slipped on denim shorts and dark camisole, sans bra, and popped another cherry in my mouth. You took my cherries from me. "Where are we going?" "Trust me," you smiled. You led me a few blocks down the street to where you had located the headquarters for a small journal, the Something Poetry Review of Something. They were closed. I hadn't noticed how late it was, but the sun had set and the air was dark. Behind the building was a green metal dumpster. "Look inside," you said, handing me a cherry from the jar hidden in your jacket. "Inside where? Inside there?" You nodded. I wasn't tall enough to peek inside the dumpster, so you hoisted me up with a violent hug until I saw over the dumpster wall. a wide ocean of unwanted poems, hundreds and thousands of rejected words printed on crisp white paper. With your help, I climbed inside, and a minute later you followed. That night, we dined on cherries and rejected poems. We ate them up greedily, ravenously, devoured them and sucked them dry. In our wake, we left a trail of stems and well-read verses. One poem we took home. It was an angst-filled sonnet by a heartbroken teenager titled "Soulmates Don't Exist." And underneath in your handwriting, "But if they do, then you're mine."
I have grown aware of small grasshoppers on gray roofs, gray-timbered vibrations in light clouds. This mountain lake, rich and ore-like, has become my friendly abyss. I cough turquoise vapors and dream of comfortable ambulances. Dark mountains rise from the valleys as I lie lazily on a boulder watching cattails sway. An old ghost traverses my limpness. I watch for your shape to rise from the reeds. I wait for you to arrive in my bed dripping with lake water. My bedroom smells of fresh mud. I see your pale green eyes appear in my ceiling.
When you died, it ruined your day like accidentally using 2 coffee filters in the morning. You were on your way to work, driving down 86 when a bug hit your windshield, and its remains splattered, leaving a blob of gunk directly in your field of vision. The wipers wouldn't get it off. Distracted, you were pressing buttons and levers, messing with the different kinds of sprays and wiper speeds, your thoughts with the splattered bug, and you didn't notice the light was red when wham! It was one of those big old trucks that hit you. Your car rolled over obediently, and somehow you spilled out like dice from a cup, and before the momentum of the crash was spent, it was you under I don't know how many wheels. Totaled. Cranium smashed against hard metal, brains like moldy tofu visible through shattered skull, ribs broken, bones pulverized, bladder burst, limbs hanging by exposed bands of tissue. He was young when it happened, thank the Lord, the Bulletproof representative said to me. No Lord had anything to do with this bullshit. The man, bald and short, with a tummy round like Buddha's, cleared his throat and glanced down at the policy papers. Of course, I don't mean to suggest that it's a good thing what happened. The accident, I mean. Death, I thought. My husband's death. Your death. His tongue evaded the word. It was a dangerous word. People everywhere held it between their lips like an egg on a spoon. One could be dropping it just anywhere. The two of you have absolutely the best policy offered anywhere. Full service, he smiled to Wally. And since he was in his 20s, his body will likely resist the degeneration for a good 4 or 5 years.
I am slowly forgetting the light in your eyes and trying to write on mornings the sun lies on the lake like laundry on my bed. I am not sure if painting the town red pleases me as much as your quiet parades. How am I to celebrate nothing with the fanfare of an American with only a television as my landscape? Heads of state speak like circus aerialists perform, changing the daily game, and I understand none of it. My love, it is so dark in the Alaskan night, I have become the snowfall. I think of our evenings on the Kenai, drinking Cabernet under a familiar sky, under the sun dipped into horizons, sweet indigos at 1 a.m. Now I have nothing to keep me safe from the flow of my life. I am not ashamed, just angry the well is dry so early. I do not know our probability, but I cannot make my way to the lever and pull.
You lost an ear. Just like that. You got up to make coffee and left it on the pillow so that neither of us noticed until I was making the bed and you had already left for work. It laid there, a splash of color on white bedding, a mass of tissue like a crumpled piece of paper that should have been thrown away, but instead spent years stuck to the side of your head. I wish I hadn't Googled bulletproof degeneration. The images were crawling bug kind of creepy. Like when you see one spider and for the rest of the day feel thin, spindly legs moving on your skin. And I saw not one image, but 4 or 5 pages worth of degeneration. For years to come, every time I stood, I checked for limbs lost under chairs. I checked my socks for toes and my clothes for skin. In the early stages of degeneration, usually beginning a few months after death and lasting anywhere from 1 to 3 years. Small body parts often detach. Ears and nails and noses. Eyes can sometimes pop out of the head. It's extremely rare that genitals fall off, but a few cases have been reported. In the advanced stages of degeneration, what was put together falls apart. The wounds that killed you would slowly return. The live-proof representative had said we were lucky. In the course of 1 to 5 years, your body would split open, your guts would spill out, until you were back to how they found you, dead and scattered with bits and pieces stuck to the underside of a truck. How in fucking hell is that lucky?
You may watch clouds sculpt lightning into glass idols, whose names the trees do not call, their dining tables and chairs in perpetual motion. What happens to the words we cannot bear to speak? Do they live in a sonorous house built for fostering the ineffable? We will not sign the commission of chaos. In the garden of cherry blossoms, we regain our resolve. I want to write sacred poems with the sound of my dancing feet. I want to find my place in the body of love. Thank you.